Hey, good Sunday morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day down here in Southern California. I'm standing on Surfside, and I don't think I've seen this many surf fishermen on the beach for a long, long time. Is there something going on that I'm not aware of? Pay attention back there. I mean, there's probably 12 guys here fishing this morning, so pretty interesting stuff. Welcome to the morning briefing here with Friedman Adventures. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you all. We're going to cover it all, including some epic white sea bass fishing. Bluefin tuna starting to bite the Mad Max again, or I should say bluefin just starting to bite again, but not for everybody, as you well know. We'll cover the warm water species pushing up the Baja Peninsula, and we'll have everything about the islands, the offshore, and some surf fishing in real time for you all. Well, let's start you out down there in Ensenada, where my good friend Arnie on one ponga, and I talked to many of the pongeros down there. I learned Spanish many, many years ago, so that really helps me in terms of gathering information for all of you when I'm talking to the guys down there. Most of those guys have turned their attention to kind of warm water species. The bluefin tuna bite has been not very good here recently. There's a few fish occasionally caught by trolling those Mad Mac lures. That has been all the rage, still working very, very well. When you find bluefin that want to bite, that's been part of the problem. These crazy bluefin, I mean, we're seeing copious amounts of the fish still in several different areas, but they've been reluctant to bite. So a lot of those guys are starting to find kelps with some of those smaller grade yellowtail, 5 to 10 pound yellowtail. Also, there's some dorado on the kelps, and there's a little bit of yellowfin tuna trying to push up the coast. Same thing for the San Diego-based fleet, but most of that fish seems to be further down the Baja Peninsula. In fact, a lot of it is hanging out near San Martin Island where the warmer water is, and it seems like the better fishing is. Even that has been off the bite here recently. Some guys get them, some guys don't. There's some good kelp patty scores on those smaller grade yellowtail, and there's a few bigger yellows also mixed in, and then you have a mix in terms of the size of dorado and yellowfin tuna anywhere from, I want to say, 10 to 25 pounds for the most part. But even that has been a little bit slower. So some of those pongeros are also out a little bit further offshore, still searching around for bluefin tuna. That brings us up to the San Diego fleet, where the long range boys are starting to get it done on that bluefin once again. There are copious amounts of bluefin in a couple of different areas. That bluefin is really moving around right now. I mean, we have seen it locally here near the oil rigs, near the Avalon Bank. We've seen it now off Pyramid Head, on Tanner Bank, several areas where that bluefin tuna is starting to show up. And I'm talking mega schools of bluefin. You will see it on the machines. You will see it visually. It's incredible the amount of fish that we are seeing, and they still are not biting all that well. But guys are starting to get a piece of it at nighttime. Some of the long range boys are starting to get with it again and doing pretty darn well with those 300-gram flat falls, or the Daiwa Zakana jigs working very, very well. Knife jigs get you down quicker. All of those things are working pretty well right now. This thing is trying to get back to normal. Now, good friend of mine, Phil Capricio, was out yesterday, and Phil was dragging the Mad Mac lures. In fact, Captain Eddie Leland, who many of you know from our show, and you fish with Eddie for so many years. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he continues his battle with cancer. But Eddie Leland gave some Mad Max to Phil Capricio, and yesterday Phil had one bluefin that was, he estimates, about 180 pounds, and then he also had 3 other BFTs in the 50, 65 pound class. Not bad at all. He also had 4 yellowtail. Some pretty good shooting there around San Clemente Island for Phil Capricio. The Coronado, now I'm jumping to another landing, but fishing out in the same zone. Coronado had a dozen bluefin tuna, but Joe Phillips, who runs the Toro, said, I can't believe how much fish I'm seeing. Just copious amounts of bluefin. If it ever settles and bites, it's going to be really incredible. Will it? Well, I've been saying it's just a matter of time, but I've been saying that for so long, some doubt creeps into my mind a little bit about whether it will turn on. It has to. If this is more like a normal year in Southern California, it's going to be a fall bite. In fact, we never used to go near Tanner and Cortez if you're looking for game fish until after August. That's when you'd go out there Anytime you went before that, you were subject to getting a big fat zero, a goose egg. So if we're back to a normal year with cooler water, and we're seeing kind of a mix of that, we see some warm water, we see some cooler water, we will see that bank explode at some time in the very, very near future. Remember, you definitely want to vary your tackle. You definitely, if you're on a San Diego-based boat right now, or LA Orange County-based boat, you want to have some 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon rigs ready to go. 50 to 60 pound also would be very good, and a 2-speed with 80 to 130 pound will indeed be necessary. And as Phil Capriccio illustrated with that beautiful catch of a fish that almost went 200 pounds yesterday, you definitely want to have your heavy tackle. Stay prepared. It's the only way to get things done. No albacore. That's not K-N-O-W. That's N-O. Albacore, at least here in Southern California. Coos Bay, Oregon, they're getting them up there and getting them really, really good. So they have great fishing in that neck of the woods. West Coast albacore, still way up to the north of us, as you know, where Oregon is, obviously. Is it going to happen here? The clock is definitely ticking on my prediction again. It is tick, 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 and man, I'll tell you, as the further we get past July the 4th, the less confidence I have in it. I'm going to ride it into the dirt, however, and stay with our prediction, because the oceanography is what we look at, and it is still good. While we have warm water along the Baja coast, we have that cooler water that is perfect for albacore. We have a lot of anchovy around. The area that we think would be best right now, and there's areas that are closer that could have albacore in it also, but that area outside dumping grounds, outside Cortez Bank, those areas look really, really good. Maybe one of these long range guys is going to limit out on bluefin tuna and get a hair and go out there and check it out. And that would really be awesome if that were to happen. So still convinced we're going to have a season, but I know we're getting late in the game. I'm going to have to come up with something like jump off a 2-story building or do something to pay for my terrible prediction once again. But we're holding to it. We'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the islands right now. We'll start you down there. Todos Santos Island off the beautiful city of Ensenada, Baja California. And they have a lot of barracuda, few yellowtail, good fishing for bottom fish at times. Not big, giant fish. That area gets hammered pretty hard, but a few lings and a few rockfish in that neck of the woods. That definitely helps out. Up there at the Coronado Islands, we continue to see a mix of a few yellowtail, pretty good barracuda, calico bass. Weather's gorgeous. It can be a lot of fun. The San Diego yesterday, 3 yellowtail, 68 calico bass, 39 on the barracuda. Grande with a similar score. And guess what? Bill Wilkerson, my good buddy on the Malahini, he's standing by to give you an update. Bill says, hey, it's fun fishing on a variety of different species. And one thing Bill says he'll guarantee you is a lot of fun on board the Malahini. Here's Bill.
It is official. It's summertime. Come on down. Get on the boat. Gosh, fishing at the Coronado Islands has just been spectacular. Yellowtail wise, hit and miss, but oh my God, the species we caught today. We wandered with 80 calico bass, 125 whitefish, 27 rockfish, 14 sculpin, 1 yellowtail, 1 lingcod, and 14 barracuda. Guys, it has been steady, steady, steady action all day long, just the way it's supposed to be. Hey, if you have not fished the Malahini, don't know what we're about, come check us out. I guarantee you'll be happy. Whether we catch fish or not, we guarantee you have. No, I'm not going to say we're going to guarantee you, because some folks you just can't please. But you're going to have a good time. Hey, if you need to make a reservation and interested in checking us out, go to our website, malahinisportfishing.com. You can go to the landing website, that's hmlanding.com. Check out their schedule to see what we're running through them. If you don't see us there, get online, malahinisportfishing.com. Book now, make your reservation. We're fishing the Coronado Islands. The fishery there is just amazing. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. It was a very, very good day today. See ya. Peace.
All right, always so much fun to fish with Bill Wilkerson. We'll be doing just that on July the 22nd on the Malahini, Friedman Adventures. It's a go. Can't wait to do it. It's a Friday, so you'll be able to fish from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then have the weekend to enjoy yourself, hopefully with some nice fishing. Once again, we are watching to see if that yellowfin, if that kelp patty dorado, if that fish moves up into range for that trip. Fingers are crossed that that is indeed what is going to happen. Now, as we move you up, man, there is a lot of people fishing. Let me just survey this for you. Nobody getting bit, nobody getting bit, nobody getting bit. And one looks like a ray or looks like a round stingray. So a lot of people here. Something's going on here. I'm going to hang out for a little while and see what's happening. All right, get you up to San Clemente Island and all of those areas. And once again, there's been some closures at San Clemente Island. There has also been the sea lion problem, and I was just there. It's horrible. I mean, you have to wrestle every single fish you catch away from a sea lion, so it's making it tough. The Pescador out of Redondo sport fishing had 22 yellowtail yesterday, so nice hit for them. We saw them the other day when we were over there on board the Pride. On board the Freedom, he had 6 halibut, but no yellowtail at all, and then scratched at the rockfish and that kind of a thing. So San Clemente Island, let's put it down as hit and miss and tough. Those sea lions are a pain in the neck, and it has been on the difficult side. The water seems warm enough. There's been some exceptional hits. Pescador, that was a good hit. The Amigo the other day with Captain Mark Paisano Jr. at almost 40 yellowtail. Beautiful conditions, nice weather. We do have a little wind coming up right now, but for the most part, we have seen some really good signal, but pretty hit and miss fishing going on there. Same thing at Catalina Island, where Cat has been up and down, slow at times, very slow at times. At other times, you'll get a decent bite on the bonita, catch some barracuda. You get an occasional flash on yellowtail, and by that I mean like 3 to 6 yellowtail, maybe you get up to 9 yellowtail, an occasional sea bass, occasional halibut. It's been that kind of fishing. For the most part, it's been pretty tough going over there at Catalina Island. And that's for the 3/4 day boats that have been running over there. Many of the guys are hitting the sculpin grounds in the LA Orange County area to make sure they have fish in the sacks and then running over there. It's that whole thing about stepping on the gas and it looks like it's going to bite. You get a good day and it's followed by a poor day. I mean, if there's anything consistent about this year, it's the inconsistencies of the fishing here in SoCal and northern Baja. It really has been up and down, except for one area, which we'll get to in a moment. I do want to mention that Santa Barbara Island, San Nicolas Island have been looked at. There's been a few sea bass, a few halibut for the sports. A couple of private boaters have had better fishing, but overall, those islands have not produced. It's been rock fishing here in July, and July is not the time for rock fishing, so that's what we have there. The epicenter of white sea bass fishing now for several years has been the Channel Islands, and it remains that way. Steve Bermudez, good friend of mine, shares so much great information for all of you today. He was on board the Mirage, 18 guys, 27 white sea bass. The whole fleet is fishing in an area, so some guys get a big piece of it, other guys scratch at the sea bass. Typically, you'll get into an area, and sometimes there's alpha positions, and the guys that get there early lock up those alpha positions, and then other boats are spread way around. And then other times, it's just the luck of the draw. Sea bass swim through, and maybe you're in the right spot, and maybe you're not. So once again, some really great fishing up there for many guys, and Steve was one of the guys who provided us with great information. And making squid up there, so that is great, making live squid. And Bermudez, one of the best tackle tips that I think he shared for all of you is that the dropper loop up there has been effective in past bites. But Steve said the problem with it is that you're pretty much fishing in one spot, okay? You got one spot that you're fishing. He said that he switched from a dropper loop to a 3-ounce glow-in-the-dark lead head, banana head, pinned a squid on it, cast it as far as he could, and then dragged it across the bottom. Just kept dragging it across the bottom. So what is Steve doing? He's covering ground. That is so important in every facet of fishing. Whether you're offshore looking for tuna, I mean, you don't just sit there, you cover ground. Whether I'm walking this beach and surf fishing with a crocodile, I don't just stop and throw a crocodile in one spot. I keep moving, find the fish. That's so very important. And Steve nailed it, because within 1 hour, he had his limit of white sea bass. By dragging that lead head, it was such an important way for him to get a bite. When the rod loaded up, he just wound into it until he hooked another sea bass. Really excellent fishing. Great tackle tips from Steve. We deeply appreciate that. They also had some halibut on there. You know, another guy, Dion Cross, he was out of Ventura, or he lives in Ventura. He was on the Coral Sea. Santa Barbara boats are also in this same area. And he had some really great fishing on a trip yesterday, or the day before, I should say. They had really great fishing on the Coral Sea. We reported on that to you with sea bass and halibut. Some really, really great stuff. One other thing that Bermuda shared with us, and incidentally, that trip was a Fibbers Christian Club trip. Really some lovely people in that organization, and I'm so happy that you had such a great trip. Sincerely, I'm really, really happy you did. But Steve said they were trying to make squid, and as they're trying to make squid, a pod of dolphins shows up, and they literally push the squid into the crowder. It was as if they were helping the guys make bait. And Steve said he checked around and asked other people on deck, hey, am I having an episode? Am I hallucinating? Did you see what I just saw? And they all agreed. It looked like the dolphin were shoving that squid into the crowder. More than likely, they wanted to get a little piece of that themselves, and they did shove it in. That was an amazing spectacle of nature for everyone on board. Other boats really all over the fish, the Endeavor, Aloha Spirit, the usual suspects out there, getting really good pieces of sea bass out there. Definitely want to have Steve fish 40-pound. He said monofilament. He didn't mention fluorocarbon, so I assume that's what he was using. We do like fluoro. It always works best, we think. And www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. You'll get a handwritten note from my good friend Greg Brown, as well as a special gift. But Steve said mono. That's what he was fishing with. And moving that lead head, covering ground, such an important tip. Appreciate all that great information, Steve. That is good stuff. So probably the best bite anywhere right now, still in the Channel Islands, still going strong. We do have some weather now, however, and that might put the kibosh on it, should put the kibosh on it. But then we mellow out, get into some really nice weather once again. So also very, very good news. All right, let me talk about the coast. As you look up and down the coast, down there in Ensenada, again, there's barracuda. Great calico bass fishing going on around the Punta Banda area. I love fishing, you know, off La Bufadora and all those zones. Some epic calico bass fishing in those zones. Really a lot of fun. They bite the hard baits, they'll bite the iron. You take down a bunch of fresh dead squid and it is game on. It is as good as you could possibly want it. You chum with the chop up the squid and chum with that, and that works really, really well. We see some great fishing there. Moving up and looking at our coast in general, as I want to do, pretty tough fishing. I mean, you look at some of the scores down there out of San Diego, rockfish, few bass, few barracuda. Dana area, pretty tough fishing, very few bass, some rockfish, that kind of thing. Up here in the LA Orange County area, sculpin, filling the sacks, not much bass, not much barracuda. Hopefully we're on the verge of that happening. It's been that kind of a year, no question about it. Up in Redondo, Marina del Rey, they're getting good rockfish up there, few bass, few barracuda. And up there in the Ventura area, Island Spirit has been doing pretty well out of Ventura sport fishing. 805-676-3474. Not setting the world on fire, but a handful of barracuda, whitefish, sheep's head, rockfish, that kind of a thing. Same thing up there in Santa Barbara. Hopefully that is all going to change here very, very soon. Looking at the surf fishing bite, still picking away at spot fin, croaker. You're not going to catch too many spot fin on artificials. So if you're throwing a chrome crocodile, I've caught them on that before. Rarely. I mean, I can think of 2 fish that I've caught that way. It's going to be on natural baits, digging up sandworms. We have a video for you to learn how you can come to the beach and dig up sandworms, and that works really, really well. Sand crabs, those kind of baits, ghost shrimp are going to work really, really well. Down there in Bolsa, we see some decent yellowfin croaker fishing. Up here, there's a ton of guys, as I said, but I see no action at all just after high tide. I do see one guy running for a rod right now. I don't know if he's bit or not. Let me turn around and look real quick here. All right, you'll be able to watch him, and you'll be able to let me know if he comes up with something. So along the beaches, throwing chrome crocodiles and lucky crabs, a good way to catch a halibut. Up there in the Santa Monica Bay and elsewhere, there's still some corvina, although it has not been all that wide open. There's a little bit of corvina going on up and down the coast. Once again, you want to fish ultralight line, like 6 pound, and toss a bait right in front of them. So when you see what direction they're moving in, they're swimming up the beach, you just get out in front of them and present your bait about 10 feet in front of them, and that is a great way to get it done. Let me turn around here. And a giant round stingray. Big one. They are nasty. Those are the ones that inflict all the pain, where some of these zones around here get named Ray Bay for those little devils that have gotten me many, many times. All right, everybody. Thanks again for taking time out of your Sunday. I deeply appreciate it. To spend some time here with us on the morning briefing. Of course, I'll be watching it all day long for you. Tuesday night live, we're going to have a really special show on slow pitching. It's such a new phenomenon. It started in Japan. It's gaining worldwide popularity. And of course, we'll have that for you Tuesday night, 7 p.m. when you can ask questions. And then the following Tuesday, Jolene Thompson will be joining us and talking about lady anglers, all the successes she's had, her great and colorful history in this business. We'll have that and so much more. All right, take care, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll see you again tomorrow morning with another Friedman Adventures morning briefing.